a terrible joke? See,
Yeah.
I don't know if we've already had these jokes before. They all sort of blur into one. Oh, and also we started the podcast. Hello, everyone. Are you okay? Having a nice time? Right. A friend of mine died recently after drinking a gallon of varnish. It was a horrible end, but a lovely finish. If we had that one, would you remember that one as a PTSD trauma response, or would you have deleted it from your memory? Do you think?
I think I've repressed that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think I've told you that one. A termite walks into a pub and asks, "Is the bartender here?"
Okay. Okay. Fuck's sake.
Well, you sound very tired and grumpy. I need to find something really, really embarrassing. So there's rats. I've got a blanket on me because I'm freezing, and Stumpy and Borscht are having a fight under the blanket because they're arguing over who gets to sit on my thighs. A family of tomatoes is walking down the street, and the baby tomato starts falling behind. So the dad tomato turns around and says, "Ketchup!"
I knew that was
Why?
coming.
You started groaning before I even finished.
Yeah, that one I did predict ahead of time, and I wish I hadn't. Just terrible. Terrible. Did you hear about the wooden car?
No.
Wouldn't start.
Well, that'd be why I wouldn't hear about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that went down well.
Probably
What
like the
topic
wooden
have you
car.
got for us this week?
Cute. First, let me just give you a riddle and see if you can work it out by the end.
Okay.
Right. Before my birth, I had a name, but as soon as I was born, lost the same. And when I'm laid within the tomb, I shall my father's name assume. I changed my name 3 days together, yet live but one in any weather.
Okay.
Okay is your response to everything, even when
No,
it's definitely not okay.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Say it again.
Before my birth, I had a name, but soon as born, I lost the same.
Okay, so it's something that presumably changes name once it's born.
And when I'm laid within the tomb, I shall my father's name assume.
Is it something that undergoes, like, metamorphosis or something like that?
No. I changed my name 3 days together, yet live but one in any weather. Okay? Well, we can come back to it at the end.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe at some point you'll work it out. I mean, it's pretty old school. I thought you might have heard that one. Right.
I probably have, but...
I am going to tell you about Sir Francis Bacon and the associated spookiness, if any. It's just a very interesting story. Okay, so...
If any.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. You might decide it's not even that creepy. I don't know. Well, it isn't really. Right. So, your man, Sir Francis Bacon, you probably recognise the name. So, he was born in January 1561 to a very privileged family. And, of course, that meant that he got a very privileged education. I mean, he was clever, but, you know, when you're rich and clever, that's, you know, you're actually able to... become clever later on. Unlike me, apparently, because that fucking sentence didn't make any sense or rhyme or reason. So I wasn't born into a privileged family.
Clearly.
Screw you. And because he was so clever and he had this privileged education and this connections and everything, he was a bit of a favourite with your girl Elizabeth I. So that's probably where you would have, because she and him were, you know, they were mates.
Yeah.
She met him at Cambridge because he was brought there to be taught at the age of 12.
Yeah. Don't you have a degree from Cambridge that you don't like to mention?
I do have a degree from Cambridge, but it's completely useless. Like I have not got any work from it whatsoever. I wasted 20 grand and a lot of hard work and sweat and tears just to be told that I can't. They'd rather use AI, which I mean I didn't see coming, which makes you wonder how clever I actually am. But in any case, it's before the days of AI, and I think so. Francis Bacon was brought into Cambridge to be taught because of the privilege. Like he wasn't like mega super duper prodigy or anything. It's just because okay, smart enough kid. There you go. Throw money at the situation.
Yeah. His dad was probably on the board or something as well, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And as a result, he ended up being an advisor to like an earl or something, whatever that means. I don't know what an earl is. I think it's just someone else who was born into money and privilege.
I don't know if they have control over, but I assume it's like a lord where they kind of own something that gives them note within the community or oversee something.
I think back then they weren't just useless benefit cheats like the ones that we have today, like the royal family will have today. I think they did actually have stuff that they did and people that they managed and things. So that would make sense that he had to have an advisor. But then on the back of that, your man Sir Francis Bacon became the Lord Chancellor, whatever that means.
Just looking at it now, like apparently the titles are just different ranks within society. So an earl is apparently the equivalent of a European count, which again I don't know what that actually means, but I guess they ranked
just someone with
privilege.
Money.
Yeah. So I think it's like the third one down, an earl or something. I think it says.
Okay, so he's kind of like a tier list B.
Yeah, he's a B tier posh twat.
Do we know what Lord Chancellor tier would be? Because that is an actual job, isn't it? So he did actually have an actual job.
Lord High Chancellor is a senior cabinet minister.
S tier.
Yeah, so the Lord Chancellor is the Minister of Justice for England and Wales, and the highest ranking great officer of state in Scotland. I don't know. People like it's wild how people around the world assume that like us British people know what all these noble title means.
Yeah,
and we have no fucking clue. We have no more clue than anyone else. It's like,
oh no, there's definitely the stereotype that we all care about the royal family, but most of us want them to stop draining public funds.
Yeah, I mean, I was best friends with good old Liz. You know.
Oh, were you?
We're all best friends with the Queen. Everyone knows that. It's the first thing Americans ask. It's like, do you know the Queen? I'm just like, yeah. We were playing like backgammon just the other day.
I've literally never had anyone ask me if I knew the Queen. Ever. That is not a thing that happens.
I mean, when was the last time you went to America?
Well, never, but I've met Americans, and they've never asked me that.
Were they Americans or were they Canadians? It's hard to tell, isn't it?
Okay, shut up. Right. So anyway, so he's a Lord Chancellor, and I think so. He was made the Lord Chancellor in 1618, which would have been when he was about 57 or something. But he's had, a long career of stuff, and
general poshery.
Yeah, I think it was mostly law that he was wandering around in. But as I say, he was mates with Queen Elizabeth and well-travelled, did a lot of writing and various things. It's one of those things where you can get on the Wikipedia page and go into a hell of a lot of rabbit holes. I'm not going to do that. I don't have the time or the inclination. I don't care. So if hilariously, so he was, the Lord Chancellor doing law and law things, and then he lost that job 3 years into it because of corruption. So they booted him out. Yeah.
How very unheard of.
Yes. Well, he denied it. He said that he hadn't done anything out of order. But I mean, at the time, not that things have changed, it wasn't unusual for people in his position to just accept gifts from people that were literally on trial. So,
right.
But his argument was that when people who were on trial to him gave him, a sandwich or something, that he swore it wouldn't change his judgment. Yeah, but like a good sandwich. I don't know what kind of thing they bribed with back then. I don't know if it was just like gold, because I mean he already had a lot of money. I don't know what exactly he would be accepting as
Maybe
a gift.
He was like really hungry, and the person giving him the gift was like, it'll put him in a bit of a better mood if he's not that, hangry.
I'll be honest with you. If I was Lord Chancellor and I was really hangry and someone came on trying to contest a parking ticket, if they gave me like a chicken and pesto mozzarella sub, I would not be able to not let that affect my judgment.
See, I like to think I'm sort of pretty solid in my morals. So I reckon it would take a full-on Scooby-Doo size sandwich to sway me. I'm not a perfect man. I don't pretend to be.
Yeah.
But it would take, an irresponsibly large sandwich.
Yeah, irresponsibly large. Like,
yeah.
At what point does a sandwich become irresponsibly large? Do you mean it'll make you ill?
I mean, when it looks like it will break your jaw to even attempt to eat it.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I hope you can't hear that rustling. That's Borscht. He's very excited about a paper bag. He has just pulled it out of the bin.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because he was kicked out for corruption. He's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything corrupt. And then it turns out that he was actually accepting gifts. And then he was like, no, that didn't affect my view of them at all. It's like, mate, come on.
As he's wiping the mayonnaise from his chin, yeah?
Yeah, that's not fair, is it? Why
sandwich.
you're accepting a sarnie and then you're like, on the one hand, how is that not affecting your view? But on the other hand, if it isn't affecting your view, that's out of order. Someone gave you a sarnie. Come on,
Yeah.
give him a bit of slack.
Bring enough for the whole courtroom. Fuck's sake.
What? Don't bring the... What?
Bring a whole tray of sandwiches. Why does he only get sandwiches? Like, bring sandwiches for everyone. It's just basic decency.
No, because then everyone would be... No, okay, now look. People that go on trial
Put on a
should
buffet.
not be supplying catering to the people who are going to send them down.
Oh, it's only basic decency, isn't it? Put on a nice little buffet, some cheese and pineapple cubes.
You should never, ever go into law. Right. So, I'm not 100% sure why your man Francis Bacon got kicked out. It was...
Bacon sandwich.
No.
There's an idea. If he didn't want sandwiches, why was he named after one?
He's not named after one.
Bacon sandwich. BLT, Bacon Law Technician.
I'm just gonna ignore that. He's not even. He's just he's a meat. That's not a sandwich. No, but he is a meat. He's not a compound of meat and yeast based carbs. He's a meat.
He's a meat. What a sentence. You, sir, are a meat.
Look,
Court
all right.
adjourned.
So interestingly, even though he was very much on the whole serving king and God and everything, he didn't actually believe that rich people should get massive privileges that the poor didn't get. Like, he was actually a bit of a philanthropist in that area.
Okay.
And he was also, even though he believed in God and everything, he was really big on science as well, which was a little bit of a risky thing at the time, you know. The church very, very much had a grip on things, but he was very, very much a scientist in that era, you know.
Okay. Sounds like a curious guy that wants to know as much knowledge as possible.
Yeah. Now, one of his scientific theories would eventually be his downfall, supposedly.
Okay.
So, directly because he'd been kicked out of the Lord Chancellor role, he was like, right, okay, fine. I am going to pursue my lifelong dream of getting back into science, getting to the philosophy of science, because he really did think that it should be a tool that will improve everybody's life.
Fair enough. Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, so he was dabbling in all of that, and now we're going to fast forward to 1626, when he would have been 65.
Okay. So it sounds like he's doing most of his stuff a bit later in life then.
Yeah, and a bit of a late bloomer. He was, so according to John Aubrey's Brief Lives, written around the mid-1600s, one day Francis Bacon was in a carriage with the king's physician, a Dr. Winterbourne, so fellow scientist.
Nice, good strong name.
At the time, Winterbourne, yeah, or Winterbourne, one or the other. Is either one is pretty good. Yeah, it sounds like a D&D character.
Oh yeah.
They were both, so they were riding a carriage through London during the winter. And it was an incredibly cold winter that year. The snow was incredibly heavy, ice everywhere. No one's having a particularly good time. And while they're driving along, Francis Bacon turns to Dr. Winterbourne and says, "This is a good idea for me to try out one of my hypotheses." Now, just for context, in the 1600s, you're not going to have access to ice particularly often. Even outside of, even outside of winter times, you're not going to have access to ice easily. So it's really only during this time that people would have particularly had access to ice, especially people in, the midland areas, because they used to go up to mountains and cut ice and bring it down if they could.
Had ice houses, didn't they? There's one near me where it's like a big, I don't know, underground dome almost that they put ice in to keep it frozen for longer periods
Yeah,
of
but
time.
I don't think that happened until a bit later on.
Oh, fair
Possibly,
enough. Well, it sounds
a
like
couple of
he's
100
building
years
up
later.
to do like a massive skid in the cart.
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
He had an idea that if you could freeze meat specifically, then it would maybe last a lot longer and it would be eaten maybe even weeks later.
Okay.
So, of course, at the time they had there's salt curing, I think, was the main method of preserving meat. But aside from that, if you've got a couple of pork loins and you've got them during the 1600s, they're going to go rancid within a couple of days, probably. I mean,
it's
depending.
Weird that like back then they presumably had to kill the animals within a certain time of actually wanting to eat it.
Yeah,
it's not like you could, like we do nowadays, slaughter the animals and then ship them off to Tesco and someone has to, buy it off the shelf and all that stuff. Whereas this would presumably, right, what's for dinner tonight? And then just point at a pig and say that one.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, this is why so many peasants of the era would have animals that they kept specifically because one day they were going to kill them and eat them on the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a hypothesis. I don't know how long Bacon had this hypothesis, but seeing the ice and everything, and also being with his mate, it was a bit of sort of like, hey, I bet that if we freeze some meat, we'll be able to eat it next week. And obviously Dr. Winterburn is like, what? Apparently.
So wait a minute. You're telling me a man named Francis Bacon and someone called whatever it was, Winterburn.
Dr. Winterburn.
Dr. Winterburn or Dr. Winterborn. But the important thing is it got winter in it. So someone called Bacon and someone called Winter came up with the idea of freezing meat. That's fucking... They were born to do that, weren't they? With names like that.
Okay, so just a caveat. Before then, there are records of indigenous tribes, etc., in the colder regions, especially closer to the North and the South Pole, freezing meat, obviously within the ice. It's gone back decades and decades, but that information hadn't really come over.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I suppose, in colder climates, the meat kind of freezes where it falls, doesn't it? So...
Yeah, exactly. But also you've got to remember around this time, the connections around the world aren't quite as... there's so many places that hadn't even been discovered yet, so the information
I'm sure
been
most
passed on.
Major inventions that were legitimately invented by someone may have already been invented somewhere else,
Oh,
Two different people can come up with the same idea.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Winterborn is like, well, all right, if you reckon so, let's give it a go then, because I don't know if he's particularly convinced. So Francis Bacon tells the driver of the carriage, right, we need to go and find somewhere where we can buy a chicken. So
Right.
they divert and they go off to Highgate in London. So London Highgate in Pond Square. They wander over to some ramshackle house, some peasant place, knock on the door, some peasant woman answers, "You all right, love? Do you have a chicken that I can buy?" And she's quite happy to sell a chicken to them. I mean, I assume they have a few of them, but also, she's quite happy to have some money. I mean, this guy he's not wanting. So I hope that he gave her a decent amount.
Fair enough. This sounds exactly like when I'm drunk in a taxi and I instruct the driver to swing by the nearest KFC. Is that what this is?
No, it's not. I don't think they were drinking. It was just two
back
blokes.
Then they were all drinking.
Well, no, maybe. But so he gives her the money for the chicken. She gives him the chicken, and he says, "No, hang on. Do you mind killing it and plucking it for me first, though?" And she's like, "Okay, fair enough."
Jesus.
Well, I mean, getting money's worth, but also I imagine he's there in his finery and his massive neck cuff that makes him look like a bird that swallowed a plate. He doesn't want to get any blood on it, does it?
I mean, fair enough. Yeah. I'm still picturing him completely drunk and just going, "Carriage to KFC." That's just how I'm picturing this happening.
I'm just picturing that this woman who was just having a nice evening, just hanging out, and then she's there cutting a chicken's head off. She's pulling the feathers out, and then they specifically asked her to take all of the stuff out, all of the gubbins in. So she has to pull all of the organs and stuff out of this chicken. cutting it open and then like pulling it all out with her hands covered in blood. And then finally it's like, okay, great, cheers. And she's like, there, take it, just piss off.
Yeah,
so
it's bad enough I'm not having chicken dinner tonight, but now I've got to prepare one for you because you want my chicken.
So Francis Bacon is there, stood there in the snow with Winterbourne, and he starts picking up fistfuls of snow and absolutely ramming it into this dead chicken.
Poor woman's house.
Yeah,
what the
just
fuck
picking
are
up,
you
just
doing?
slamming absolute fistfuls of snow from the ground. I'm sure Dr. Winterbourne was like, "What the? What?
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
I imagine if I just showed up at your house and you didn't know me beforehand. I was like, "You got any chicken in the freezer? Because I want to buy some from you." And then I start just like cramming stuff from your garden into this chicken that I've just bought off you. Is this man mental?
I mean, I don't know if I'd be less upset knowing you as I know you now. I mean,
fair.
That's not really the kind of thing that you are likely to do.
No.
To my knowledge.
But she must have been like, oh, so you won't pluck and pull the innards out, but he will get down on the dirty floor with fistfuls of snow.
I don't know. I mean, she was probably gone
pissed.
back in the house. I mean, with her money, with a little bag of gold coins or whatever. So she was probably quite happy, to be honest. I think out of everyone, she's the one that got the best deal out of this whole scenario.
Yeah, I suppose she's probably counting her coins at this point. She's not looking out the front garden.
So he's there. He's shoving snow into this chicken, and then they find this area where they're going to come back to it in a couple of days, and they bury a little pit, and then they put the chicken, the stuffed frozen chicken, into a bag. So fair enough. I mean, I'm happy at least he did that. He wasn't just going to shove it into frozen soil, because I was a little bit worried then.
Yeah.
Shoves it into the pit and then packs it all round with snow. So like a little underground freezer. So he says to your man, Dr. Winterbourne, right, okay, we'll come back in a couple of days and we'll see whether it's still edible. And Dr. Winterbourne is like, yeah, okay, if you think I'm going to have any of that chicken, you're very much mistaken, but sure, yeah, let's do that. Okay. Shortly after, Francis Bacon, I don't know whether it was on the continued ride, he starts getting a bit sniffly, a bit coughy.
Right.
And then he starts to get very ill, very, very ill. So according to Aubrey, the writer of Brief Lives that I mentioned earlier on, the snow so chilled him that he immediately fell so extremely ill that he could not return to his lodging. So immediately, so after doing this to the chicken, after killing the chicken, stuffing it, putting it in the ground, he became so ill that he could not return to his lodging. So they diverted. They went to the Earl of Arundel's house at Highgate, and they put him into a damp bed that had not been lain in.
What? This is just a drunken taxi ride, isn't it?
I don't know why it's a damp bed. I have no idea, but it had not been lain in. So I think it just means that there wasn't anyone. Because they used to do that thing, didn't they, where they'd pay someone to lie in bed all day so it was warm when you got back.
That's insane. I reckon what's happened
true.
is after a drunken taxi ride where they've swung by the nearest KFC, he's got back completely, utterly wankered. He's pissed the bed in the night because he's so drunk.
Oh, for God's sake, no, he's not. That's not what happened to Sir Francis Bacon in the friggin' 1600s. The man just shoved snow in a chicken and put it in the ground. Perfectly normal Sir Francis Bacon behaviour.
Yeah, perfectly.
And then he got very, very sick. He got very poorly. Now,
did he now?
Bearing in mind the journeys probably were a lot longer back then. It wasn't like he could jump on the tube, so I don't know how long it was after he did this that he started getting sick. But they diverted to some earl's house, and then he's in a bed.
In a damp bed.
Right? In the same night. So,
right,
but I mean, he was really, really sick. Like, he had barely made it to the earl's house, even. Like, Dr. Winterbourne was kind of concerned. It was just a sudden thing, almost like a curse that had just fallen on him, you know?
Yeah. I've had the odd night out where I've been like, no, I've been cursed. Like, I'll never drink again.
Oh, we've all had that.
Yeah. That's not the case here. He's sober as a judge, obviously.
No, he is. He definitely is.
Sounds it.
So the Earl actually wasn't there at the time, the owner of the house.
Right.
And in a letter to the owner of the house, Bacon wrote, "My very good lord, I was likely to have had the fortune of Caius Plinius the Elder, who lost his life by trying an experiment about the burning of Mount Vesuvius. For I was also desirous to try an experiment or two touching the conservation and induration of bodies. As for the experiment itself, it succeeded excellently well, but in the journey between London and Highgate I was taken with such a fit of casting as I know not whether it were the stone, or some surfeit or cold, or indeed a touch of them all three. What's interesting about this letter is I'm not actually sure when he wrote this, but he says that as the experiment itself succeeded excellently well, but I also don't know, I haven't got any record of when they went back, or maybe he sent someone to look at the chicken to see if it was still edible or something, because he actually died only a few days later. So I'm not sure. I wonder if he thought the experiment succeeded because he shoved snow in a chicken and put it in the ground. I'm not sure. The legend goes that the chicken wasn't retrieved. It was just buried there in a snowy grave.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm. He died, Sir Francis Bacon died a few days later in April 1626 of suffocation specifically, because his lungs were so full of fluid. So, pneumonia? I can't say that word. Yes, that.
Yes. Okay, sounds pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's not the nicest way to die, especially I think I'd be a bit upset to know that I was that unwell because of a frozen chicken.
Yeah, you'd be pissed.
Mm-hmm. But also, I think the fact that the bed was a bit damp probably didn't help him.
No. I wonder if it was damp to, help cool a fever or something, but I don't know if you get a fever from pneumonia. Yeah, no, that can't help. No,
it can't help. Actually, as a side note, it's a little bit, the account of this story is a bit confusing, because even though it was generally assumed to be this sort of, it's not an urban legend. It's one of those stories that people will cite as being one of the first examples of freezing food. It often pops up.
Right.
But there's a couple of problems in the fact that, well, for a start, it doesn't seem that likely that London had snow in April, which was when he died.
Fair point, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not saying he didn't necessarily do this experiment. Maybe it was two separate incidents. Maybe the reason why in the recorded letter, he said it was a success is because the chicken was frozen, a month or so earlier when it was snowy. But it's it's weird, because in the letter itself he does say, I am ill because I buried a chicken, basically.
Right. It sounds like the timescales might not be 100% accurate. Maybe he didn't die a week after he buried it, or whatever you said. Maybe it was months, and he knew that it was a success, and things just got confused. Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not Sir Francis Bacon's ghost that haunts Pond Square. Oh, no.
Okay.
Even today, Pond Square is haunted by the terrifying apparition of a frozen chicken.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm serious. I'm not making this up. I'm 100% genuine. Page 1 serious. There's been reports, Luke.
How does this chicken haunt this?
Well, I'll tell you.
Square, did you say?
Yeah, just Pond Square.
Pond Square. We're definitely going there, by the way. We need to
investigate this. Is what makes me think that the chicken wasn't retrieved. But then again, maybe he'd been ill for a month or so when he wrote the letter saying that I got ill from a chicken. So I don't know. But then again, I don't know why that would make a difference. Depends on whether you think a ghost haunts where it's buried or... Don't make noises like that. I'm telling you about the ghost chicken. No.
It's a poultrygeist.
Fuck off. Right, that's the end of Breadsticks for Jesus. I am literally never talking to you again. I'm blocking you on everything. And I'm going to pretend that I never met you.
More for you, because that's fucking incredible wordplay on my part.
I will literally call the police.
Come on.
I will literally call the police if you say that ever again. I don't know what they'll do, but...
Then I will accept my punishment gladly. Because of punishment.
Sorry, did you not hear me when I said I was never going to talk to you again?
Two great puns in the space of, 30 seconds. I am on fucking fire.
Just fuck off, man. You're not taking the chicken ghost serious, are you? You're not taking it seriously. This is a genuine ghost story that is cited and reported on and stuff.
I wish you could see my face. I am so fucking pleased with myself.
Do you want to just end the episode there?
No, I do want to hear about this ghostly bird.
Right.
Yes. Go on. Please continue. I will treat it with the respect that it deserves.
Thank you. So, this chicken has been seen numerous times over the years, half plucked, frozen, sometimes flapping its wings, running around in circles, sometimes with a head and sometimes without a head, haunting the place of its death, perhaps in a ghostly display of pride at the death of the great philosopher it caused. I've written in my notes.
Right. So you could say he's cock of the walk, this chicken.
I need you to stop the puns, because you know how much I hate them.
Sorry, but that was too good to pass up. Please continue.
Also, it's not. It's a chicken. I mean, presumably it was a female one because obviously they would have wanted to have eggs. So
yeah, maybe.
Right. So let me tell you about a couple of recent sightings.
Okay.
During the Second World War, air raid precaution wardens were patrolling Highgate during the night, obviously, and they said that they would see the ghostly chicken on many occasions. Like, it actually got to the point where, you know, it was like, oh, I saw a sort of see-through chicken or whatever, and the other blokes are going, oh yeah, that's the chicken ghost, yeah. So apparently, one of the wardens, genuinely saw the chicken and thought, I'm having that, and tried to catch it. So he ran after it, hoping to grab it and get himself a nice 3 dinner.
Right.
And the chicken put an end to that by disappearing into a brick wall, and the warden just smashed into the brick wall after the chicken.
How fucking dumb is he? That's some, like, proper, like, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner shit. That is just... That's fucking insane. Also, have these air raid patrol people not got something better to do in World War II? Like,
well, no, definitely not. I mean, you know what rationing was like? They were probably starving hungry, these poor blokes. If they saw a chicken and it's unaccounted for and no one's claiming it, obviously, plus it's already half plucked, obviously, you'd run after it. I reckon the guy immediately took his coat off, ran after it, trying to chuck it over the chicken, not expecting this chicken to just immediately just zoom through some bricks.
Do you reckon he was just so hungry that, you know, like when in cartoons where they see like their best friend as a big sandwich? Do you reckon it was like that, where he's just seen what he wants to see and is hallucinating? He's that hungry.
What, do you think it was actually like a rat or something and it ran through a hole in the wall?
Yeah.
But then why would he have hallucinated a chicken, specifically the frozen chicken of Highgate, the one that all the wardens have seen?
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
Surely he would hallucinate one that had already been cooked, just running along.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. See, you're...
Yeah, just the fact that he has probably one of the most important jobs in London at the time, watching out for the Germans, and all he's doing is chasing an invisible chicken around and slamming into walls like an absolute mad lad.
I mean, you'd probably feel a little bit daft, but I mean, I have been exceptionally hungry before. I am very sure that I would have chased after what I thought was a chicken.
I don't think I've
like a
ever
roast
been
chicken.
hungry enough.
If there was a roast dinner on legs, I would chase it if I was that hungry.
Fucking horrified.
No, I would, and that's the thing. Like all of these video games where you whip a candle and a roast dinner falls out. Like, that's key, isn't it? That's such a game thing.
I guess, yeah. Do you reckon he was in his own little personal streets of rage?
Yes.
And just chasing a chicken that he found in the trash can.
So that's not the only sighting. I mean, I assume that there are other unreported sightings, otherwise this story wouldn't have kept alive so long. But
yeah.
In 1943, one Terence Long, he was crossing Pond Square late at night. Again, it's always late at night. It's got to be, because otherwise the ghost won't come out, apparently. And he heard the sound of horses' hooves, accompanied by the low rumble of carriage wheels. And then there was this loud shriek that just split through the silence, and that's when a ghostly chicken appeared before him and raced around, flapping, squawking, and then disappeared. And the sound went. And there was no carriage around. He was just by himself.
Chicken making horse noises.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe the carriage, because it says the low rumble of the carriage wheel, so I don't think it was like racing through. I think it was supposed to be the ghost of Sir your bacon man's carriage.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it was, unless the chicken was kind of recreating the circumstances of its own death, because from the chicken's perspective, they heard he or she heard the rumbling of a carriage, then presumably a knock at the door, and can I buy your chicken, and all that stuff. So yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, what I find quite funny about this particular story is the fact that, honestly, if I was in this guy's position, I'm out in the middle of the night, it's quiet, it's dark, I hear a shriek, and then a chicken appears and then vanishes, I would shit myself. I would be so scared. Honestly, I would be absolutely terrified of a chicken. And I know for a fact, afterwards, next day, I'd call my mates, I'd call you, I'd be like, look, I'm so scared, like proper scared. I saw a chicken. There was a chicken and it disappeared in its shriek and everything. And you lot would be like, well, yeah, all right, Louis, yeah. Were you drinking, were you?
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't get any sympathy. I would be traumatized if I saw that shit.
You'd definitely go vegetarian, wouldn't you, afterwards?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Someone like me, I'd probably take it as an omen. I'd just become vegan for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that'd be enough to scare me into that, I think.
I feel really sorry for that guy seeing that. I hope he worked through it.
Yeah, I hope he didn't run face first into any walls or anything.
No. That's. I bet that guy, when he went back to the wardens, they were like, "Why have you got that massive bruise on your forehead?" And he's like, "Oh, I was chasing a chicken, and it disappeared into a wall."
You wouldn't admit to that, would you? You'd make up some excuse.
I suppose, yeah.
Just say you got into like the mother of all bar fights or something. You wouldn't just say, "Oh, yeah, I ran face first into a wall chasing a ghost chicken." It's just embarrassing.
It happened. It literally happened.
Yeah, but you wouldn't admit to it. You just wouldn't. Absolutely insane.
Right.
Mad behavior.
And then in January 1969, a motorist whose car had broken down near the Pond Square, again, during the night, thought he saw a chicken just in the distance and through the fog. Right. And out of interest and maybe confusion, got out of the broken down car and tried to follow it. And that's when it disappeared. Right. And then after that, no one heard anything or saw anything of the chicken until a year later. And that's when there was a lass and a lad who'd been out on a date. They'd had a very lovely time, thank you very much.
Nice.
Stopped to do a little kiss goodnight in the doorway. When suddenly, I like to think that their lips were just about to meet, when suddenly they heard a horrible squawking, and in front of them there was a plucked, squawking, half-headless chicken just flapping around.
Louis.
And then it disappeared.
Louis, they got cock-blocked. Sorry, I had to. Absolutely.
No, you didn't have to. You didn't have to. No, you didn't have to. You made a decision.
It would have been irresponsible of me not to.
Yes, you made an irresponsible decision. You thought, what's a really good way of pissing Louis off? Doing one of the worst. I mean, you're probably right. I very much doubt there was any more romancing going on after seeing that. I mean, that's a cold bucket of water, isn't it?
Yeah. Cold bucket of chicken.
No, that one doesn't work.
KFC family bucket.
No.
Of cold chicken.
No.
I still think that was, a good 6 out of 10 on the good side of average, but fine. Please continue.
Well, anyway, those are the main occurrences, but people have seen it now and again as well. It's one of those famous ghosts that crops up now and again. In 2012, the Daily Star ran an article reporting that George Michael was being haunted by the ghost of the Highgate chicken.
I mean, well, if a quality journalistic paper as high caliber as the Daily Star said that, then it must be true.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just thought it was very funny for them to run that headline. It was actually complete bollocks, though. So George Michael was in his Highgate home. He was approached by a bunch of ghost hunters that said that his house was haunted, and he was like, "Oh no," and that was kind of it. And then the Daily Star just apparently looked up Highgate ghosts, and they found the chicken, and they were like, "Oh no, George Michael has been haunted by the ghost of a frozen chicken."
Right. That's just. Yeah.
So I don't think my man George Michael was actually haunted by the ghost of a frozen chicken, because he didn't need that.
No. Is it the Daily Star that is actually satire, but people don't realise it is?
No.
There's one of the newspapers. It might be. It's one of those like tabloidy style, like the actual newspaper.
No, but George Michael was genuinely approached by ghost hunters. So
right. Okay.
And people have been haunted by the chicken ghost. So.
Fair. I wonder how it picks its victims. Who it's going
to
I don't
haunt.
Know. We need to do some research. Like, maybe they'd had chicken for dinner that day, and the chicken could tell, or something. There's got to be some criteria.
It is a bit of a weird ghost story in that there's animals which have a lot more intelligence and empathy and stuff being killed every single day. I mean, like pigs, for example.
Yeah.
Slaughterhouses are a place of absolute suffering and misery, so why would we not have reports of ghost pigs?
Yeah, I feel like
it's a very sweet story, I suppose, this idea of the first frozen chicken, but I don't know. Yeah. So was Sir Francis Bacon's death caused by this vengeful chicken ghost? Was he cursed by a chicken? Well, eunomia, I can't pronounce it.
Pneumonia.
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 Yes.
It actually can't be caught by the cold. He couldn't have caught it by being in the snow. It's caused by bacteria.
I was going to say, I think it's viral, isn't it? Or like you say, bacteria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, yes, the cold can affect the immune response to bacteria, but it wouldn't have happened quick enough to make Bacon feel like absolute shit pretty much immediately after burying a chicken.
Definitely ghost chicken related then. 100%.
Yeah, and the other thing is that Aubrey's account of this doesn't make a huge amount of sense because of, like I said, the snow in London, and there actually isn't a record of snow in April in London of that year, but then again, in the letter, Bacon did say that it was to do with, well, no, he didn't mention a chicken, but he said that it was an experience about conservation and induration of bodies. So he was being a bit vague.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
We assume from the story that he was talking about the chicken. But yeah, so that is the first instance of frozen food, I suppose.
And it made a ghost, and we carried on doing it anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, I like to think that chicken didn't die for naught. I mean, it wasn't until a couple of 100 years later when they started looking at freezing food on a more a mass scale. I think initially they were using nitrogen for flash freezing. That was in the early 1900s, I think. That's what Bird's Eye became famous for. I think they still use it. So it's overall an interesting experiment that he did. It's just a bit of a shame that it possibly killed him. If indeed it was the curse of the chicken, who knows? But also he was like in his 60s, and this was in the 1600s, so who knows? I mean,
not get pneumonia by that age back then.
Yeah.
I just like the idea that he tried this experiment that apparently flew in the face of God, so he got haunted by a chicken. It's just...
Yeah, maybe it was God's.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of the poor guy thinking that. What with him having been someone who believed in God and being a God-fearing person.
You have angered me. I'm sending one of my lesser-known plagues. One singular ghost chicken. You you've had the shitload of locusts. You've had the death of the firstborn. You know, you've had was it like a river of blood or something ridiculous?
You've had a lot of horrible stuff.
Yeah, face my wildest plague: a singular, pissed off, transparent chicken.
Now, look, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If a ghost chicken walked in right now, I'd be very scared. Wouldn't you be very scared?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if a normal chicken walked in right now, I'd be slightly rattled, if I'm honest. Like, if it managed to open a door and was just stood in the doorway, just like, what, are you going to offer me a drink or what? Or am I just going to stand here in the cold? Like, I'd be pretty rattled if I just found any poultry within my home that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I do think we need to go to whatever square it was you said, and see if we can see this chicken. I think in the introduction to going ghost hunting, I think a ghost chicken is a sort of
entry level.
Yeah, it's a good introduction to it, because you're not getting like a full-on vengeful poltergeist that's going to haunt the absolute shit out of you. Like, at best, it's going to waddle around a bit, cluck, maybe flap sort of at your face in a sort of, you know, inconvenient sort of way. But I'm not worried that it's going to, you know, follow me around for generations doing untold horrors. It's still just a chicken. At worst, apparently, I might run into a wall. But I think I can prevent that. I do think we need to go find this chicken. And maybe we should start a Patreon for this podcast, and we can release the video of us just walking around at night looking for a ghost chicken, just looking a bit mad. I genuinely want to see this ghost chicken. I really do. Most ghosts are like, no, I don't want to see that. That sounds horrifying. But this ghost chicken, it just sounds insane. I don't think I'd be able to stop laughing. This poor chicken is trying its best to like be all scary and I must avenge my death. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Like, you're a chicken. How can you be this vengeful? How could a chicken be this pissed off that it transcends the known scientific universe to become a ghost? It defies all science. It's that angry. That it killed Sir Francis Bacon. Was he a sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. This chicken killed a lord, and apparently that wasn't enough.
Yeah, it got the taste for blood.
Yeah. This absolutely feral chicken that even death cannot contain its rage. There's a horror movie in this somewhere, isn't there? They've got to have made a horror movie about this pissed off chicken.
I mean, bear in mind, the chicken at the time would have been like half the size of the chickens we have today.
Yeah, that's
It'd be quite a slight little thing.
Yeah, it had been bred to mutant
Probably an
proportions.
adorable little ghost.
Yeah, that's why I want to go see it. I bet it's like... I mean, you did say it was half plucked and half frozen.
It depends. Some sightings have seen it half plucked, half frozen. Sometimes people have seen it without head, you know. Yeah.
That does make it sound slightly less cute. I am picturing it as sort of Two-Face from Batman, where one half of it's like covered in like freezer burn and is completely frozen. The other half is kind of very, very sparse feathers.
Mm.
It does sound... I am picturing it split straight down the middle, half and half. I'm not picturing it, you know, patchwork or anything. And that is slightly more horrifying, actually. Still want to go see it.
So, did you work out the riddle?
No. About taking the father's name.
Before my birth I had a name, but soon as born I lost the same. And when I'm laid within the tomb, I shall my father's name assume. I changed my name 3 days together, yet live but one in any weather.
No, is it...
The answer is tomorrow.
Oh, I thought it... At the start, I thought it might have been something sort of time-based or...
Were you about to say, is it a chicken?
Well, yeah, because the whole... I don't get how this...
How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense whatsoever?
No, I don't... I thought maybe it was like...
It's not a chicken.
But then how is that riddle relevant to the story you just told?
It's not!
Oh,
how are they... Look, you were like, oh, we'll do a podcast. How will we start it? Oh, you come up with something. So I came up with something. I brought it to you. And I've laid it on the table. And you're pissed off because it's not a chicken.
I'm not pissed off. I'm just confused. I thought it was... I thought the whole point was that the riddle
no,
became
it's
apparent
not relevant.
as you told
it's
the
just
story.
a riddle for you to try and work out for the end of the thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was like an introduction to the story that would become...
No, it's not an introduction to the...
Well, I know that now. Jesus. I think that's a
Right,
perfectly
no,
reasonable
fine. Screw you.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Let me find some fucking relevant things, riddles for you.
Chicken riddles.
Yes.
Good movie, that. Are you Googling chicken riddles?
Yes. Right. Why do chickens lay eggs?
To get to the other side?
Because if they drop them, they'll break.
Okay.
What do you get if you cross a hen with a guitar?
Something about plucking.
Yeah, a chicken that plucks itself.
Right, okay. That's worse than my poultrygeist.
How do chickens like to dance? Chick to chick.
Oh, right, okay. That's not even a riddle. That's just a shit joke. No, and on that note, I think we should end it there. Not for good,
right,
just the episode.
I hope you get haunted by a chicken.
Thanks. I hope someone knocks on your door and asks for chicken and then just buries it in your front garden. Thanks
That's
for listening, everyone.
That's a very ominous threat. Okay.
Huh?
Bye.
Bye.